Let's move to another secret scrimmage. Illinois played Kansas, and this one was even harder to get concrete info from than the Michigan State one was for us. But what we heard,
which is bullshit, by the way, we should have had it PDF to us.
Yeah, honestly, with the way we've handled ourselves as an Illinois show for the last 6 months, why did we not got served this up on a platter? Illinois beat Kansas in the scrimmage. I say beat with parentheses. They're quotation marks, sorry. Parentheses would be this. Illinois has some things that I'm very curious about right now, Cart. Their starting lineup does not include Sky Clark, who we are big fans of. We've been very pro Sky, very high on Sky. He's not in the starting lineup, which is crazy to me. They started Terrence Shannon at point guard. They started Luke Goody in the spot that I would assume should be Sky's at some point. Melendez was in there. Everybody else was the starters you would expect. Coleman Hawkins, Matthew Meyer. Look, they're really going the positionless route here with no point guard. That's fine. I like it on paper. Underwood's a guy who molds the way he plays to the personnel he has. It's one of the coolest things about Brad Underwood. But red flag for me if they're really serious that Sky Clark's not one of their best 5 players. And they just, like, if Terrence Shannon's their point guard, this team's going to be not very good.
Yeah, you know they're trying to. You seen those arguments about ring culture ruining like sports and like professional sports? Freshman earning it culture is ruining it for me. Like, come on, we're all college basketball players at this point. Some of us might be older, some of us might be younger. Let's put our best players out there. Like, yeah, that's great. Make them earn it. Get in the trenches. Be a freshman. Earn your stripes. That's like really, really cool. But it's also like 2022. Let's play our best players. Now, with that said, I'm loving the lineup if you throw Sky in there. Like, give me Sky, Shannon, Melendez. You said Meyer and Hawkins.
Yeah.
Like, I'm loving that. Danger off the bench, Ty Rodgers off the bench, bring Luke Goody off the bench for shooting. Like, I think that's I like the makeup of that team. And I mean, like you said, it's a secret scrimmage, so there were some adjustments going on. Kansas I think is a really good basketball team. I think they'll be really good this year.
Oh, can I push back on that?
Except I think Jalen Wilson stinks.
So I want to push back on Kansas really quickly. There is no team in the top 25 that I am more down on relative to where preseason rankings have them than Kansas. I think this team is the most overrated team in the country. I think they're getting the natty bump, right? You win a national championship, everyone just assumes your team is good next year.
But we're getting Yesufu minutes.
Yesufu is not what we thought Yesufu was a year ago.
But they got a guy named Grady Dick.
Yeah, I'm out. Like, people love Grady Dick because his name's Grady Dick. Like, I'm sorry, he's not young gravy. He's young gravy in basketball form, but like, we don't need him on the basketball court. He's not that good. Jalen Wilson, if he's your best player, your team's not that good. To me, Kansas doesn't have a center. I know they have some like young guys, but like they have no center.
Ernest Uday.
He's not going to be good. I don't think they have a good center, and I don't think they have a good point guard. And I think they have a bunch of mediocre wings. Their best 2 wings left the program. Like, Kevin, I'm sorry. I was thinking Texas Tech. I was going to say Terrence Shannon and Kevin McCullough. McCullough's on Kansas now. McCullough's not that good. It's like,
stop it. This is a Kevin McCullough Stan podcast, and we're not going to have you slander that man.
I'm just out on Kansas. So all in all, like, good that Illinois beat Kansas. This is kind of like the Michigan State thing we just did. Like, good result. A lot of red flag question marks for me, though. Here's my issue. I think Brad Underwood is a genius. I love Daddy Brad. I think he's a great coach. Everybody knows that. Like, he's the best coach in the Big Ten. If he's not going to do something stupid, that's where I'm at with Brad. Like, I think he's incapable. He's capable of saying stupid things. He's incapable of making basketball decisions that negatively impact his team, from everything I've seen from Brad Underwood in the last 10 years. So if he believes that Sky Clark is not one of the 5 best players on the team, Sky Clark's not one of the best 5 players on the team. And that conflicts with what you and I have been saying all offseason. It conflicts with my view of Illinois' team this year, because there is no player more important to their team's success in the Big Ten than Sky Clark, because there is no other point guard on Illinois. And I know they got some other young dudes who could jump in there, but like if Illinois is going to be the best team in the Big Ten, they need their 5-star freshman to be their 5-star freshman. Otherwise, they're starting Terrence Shannon at point guard, and that's going to be a disaster. So I kind of look at this now like you could make the case like, oh, maybe they need shooting, and that's why Luke Goody's in there. Luke Goody had 2 shots inside the arc on the entirety of last season. Like, that's not a good development if Luke Goody has to be in there for shooting. That means your team doesn't have enough shooting in general. And I think that's sort of where I'm at with Illinois right now. Is like they don't have a point guard, or at least until we see Sky in a featured role, they don't have a point guard. They don't have a lot of shooting, and they don't really have a true center. Like we're all sort of just accepting that Coleman Hawkins is going to be the guy at center, and I like that on paper, but like there's a chance that bites them in the ass. You know that. Like we're assuming a lot of things go well for Illinois for this team to be really, really good. And now that we're in a secret scrimmage and we're hearing Sky Clark's not even starting, it's where I'm like, oh shit, things aren't going as good as we hoped they would for them.
Yeah, I mean, if we just break it down simply, you start the 5-star freshman with 2 Y's in his name over the ginger whose name is Luke.
It's that simple.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought like everyone understood that.
I mean, that seems a little. I got a little personal there. I don't think I like that. I'm a Luke Goody fan. Just
I feel like it's more Luke averagey than Luke Goody.
Okay. Last thing I'll say on this, I don't buy that this is just a make him earn his stripes thing. And I think you said that via text too. But like they started Kofi as a freshman over at the time Basana's Philly was really good. And they started Io as a freshman, I believe, and they had some good guards at the time. Like Brad Underwood has started his freshman when they're really good. He's not a make them earn it guy. So this team's begging for a point guard all offseason. All we heard was Brad complaining that Dane Dange is their best passer, or that Ty Rodgers might be their best point. Like at a certain point, there's so much smoke here that they don't have a point guard that maybe they just don't have a point guard. And I think that
if that is the case, that is scary.
It's very scary. But for the record, planting the flag, still believe in Sky Clark. Sky, if you're listening to this, still believe in you. You're our guy. But yeah, we maybe, nothing happened, right? That's the motto. Maybe we need some things to happen for Sky.
Need things to happen.
Just saying. Okay. Let's move on.